I'm James Parker, and this is Florida Story. Yes, keep it going. Thank you very much. Welcome to this week's edition of Florida Stories. For our first Florida story, we're going to Winter Garden. Florida man goes into the gas station, walks over to the other side of the shop where the vape stuff is, jumps over the counter and starts ransacking the place. He's just knocking stuff off the counters and smashing the glass cases, and he doesn't even steal anything. He just wrecks shop, and people call the cops. And as he's walking out the door, it's about the time the cops are showing up. So he goes ahead and jumps into his or someone's black Nissan Altima and drives off. Well, there's a couple of cops who got out and got behind his car and were saying, sorry, you need to turn the car off and get out with your hands up. He says, screw that. He hits the gas. He did make physical contact with a police officer with his car. So now the cops want to try and find him, and they don't. They run the plates on the car, and it doesn't belong to him. It was reported stolen last night, and so now they have nothing to go on, and they didn't get a good car chase started, so they literally just lose the guy. Well, 30 minutes later, not even a mile away from the gas station slash vape shop, there's another cop who sees the car they're looking for, the black Nissan Altima, and it's at an intersection. Is it the right guy? Oh, I don't know. You mean the black Nissan Altima with the driver who has the car in park on top of it dancing? He's dancing on the roof of the car on the outside at a red light. So the cop doesn't immediately pull him over. He calls for backup and then follows the guy. He goes to a different gas station. Now he's at a 7-Eleven. And when he comes out, says, hey, put your hands up. He doesn't comply. It takes the dog and all four officers to finally get him in handcuffs. And they noticed about then that when he parked at the 7-Eleven, he had driven into the 7-Eleven and ruined some of the brick there. The story's hilarious because it says they suspect, drugs are involved. Oh, really? Is that what you suspect? You suspect drugs might be involved? But after all I've told you, you end up with this beautiful one. This is just a Florida classic headline. It says, Florida man hits cop with car, bites another, dances in the middle of traffic before wild arrest. Oh, yeah, that's right. He bit one of them, too. Yeah, there was so much fun stuff going on there. I've forgot to mention that part. Jesus. So what were you doing on a Thursday?
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
All right, thanks for hanging out. Our next Florida story is Coco. And this 80-year-old Florida woman lives with one of her sons. He's 53. And for the last month now, the 80-year-old Florida woman's son has refused to let anyone come visit her. And it's starting to get suspicious. So eventually they do a welfare check and the police show up, knock on the door, and it's every bit as bad as you would suspect. Nana is dead. What we have here is a Florida man who has been living with his dead mother now. That is so disgusting. Like, I don't want to live with my mom right now, and she's alive. I can't imagine if she was in the other bedroom slowly rotting. And also, I hear he's been uninvited to Christmas and Thanksgiving and basically everything for that matter.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Thank you. For our next Florida story, we're going to head on over to a place that has made it on Florida Story quite a bit, Lee County, Florida. I'm starting to delineate in my judgment of face tattoos. This Florida man, 23 years old, and his face is already covered in tattoos that it doesn't even look like a face. It looks like the desk you sat at in detention that was just graffitied all over. He was seen punching this dog. People call the cops. The cops are track him down pretty easily because in Lee County, Florida, there's not a whole lot of people, as weird as Florida is, that are this recognizable. Kids, don't get the face tattoos because it's not just this guy. Would you believe it? There's another guy in Florida with face tattoos committing crimes.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
All right, let me introduce you to our next great piece of work. He's in a town that hasn't been on Florida Stories before. So congratulations to Frostproof, Florida. Yeah, that's the name of the town. What we have is a 46-year-old Florida man. Now, he's got the face tattoos, but one of the interesting ones is it says F cops. F cops. I don't understand these people that he knows he is living a life of crime. He has already had run-ins with the law before, hence his hatred of cops. But you already have a record. You do not need to be giving people probable cause to run your record or run your license or drawing the attention to yourself. But in Frostproof, Florida, when this picture is taken, this mugshot, Home Skillet hadn't slept for 5 days. But when they search him, he has syringes on him. He has meth on him. And they said, what do you have these syringes for? He says, I use that to shoot meth. When they go to process him, he gets in a fight with the cops. And this is another one of those where it takes 4 guys to subdue him and finally get him in cuffs. Here's the problem. He's been up for 5 days, and he's so jacked up on meth that the struggle with the 4 cops gives him a heart attack.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
For our next Florida story, we're going to Naples, Florida. There's a restaurant called Virgina, Vergina, just Virgina. But there is a Florida man, 53 years old, who had a little too much to drink. They had to ask him politely to leave. So while he stumbles out of the Virgina front door, there is a family, and this guy bumps into a couple of them. Excuse me. No, excuse me, sir. Watch where you're going. You don't know nothing. And so this slurring, giant, angry Florida man takes his beer, so he pours it on a 5-month-old baby. This is NBC2 news in Naples.
A drunk man threw beer on a baby on 5th Avenue South in Naples. NBC2's Ryan Arbogast is live from Virginia's restaurant as police ask for your help to find the guy.
It's embarrassing that the news outlet mispronounced the name of the restaurant. Vergina is not Virginia. It's very clearly Virgina. Thank you very much.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
And for our next Florida story, we're going to Fort Myers, Florida. We're at the Joe's Crab Shack. After hours, there was a break-in, and he immediately in the lobby grabs the Joe's Crab Shack hat, puts it on, just starts milling around. But the weird part about this story is, for some reason, for some unknown reason, he took a dump in the middle of the floor. The bathrooms weren't locked. He could have gone and used the toilet. But what we have here for a Florida man, maybe this is his signature. Like, remember in the Home Alone, they were the wet bandits because they made the sink flood every house they robbed. So this Florida man is now being dubbed by authorities as the pooping perpetrator. That's right, the pooping perpetrator.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
And for our last Florida story, we're going to Madeira Beach. And here we are with another vape shop. But what we have here is a Florida man, and he's in a uniform. And I don't know anything about military uniforms. I'm like, a lot of them are green, some of them are blue. That's about all I know. Well, this guy comes in one of the blue ones, and I think the dude behind the counter had about the same level of interest as I did. You have this badge around your neck. Are you like a cop or something? He's like, well, I am with an investigation on behalf of the Air Force. I'm a special agent. So he pulls out a card, and on the card, it does say Office of Special Investigations. It does say United States Air Force. It does have his name on it. It turns out not only is this guy not a special agent for the United States Air Force Office of Special Investigations, there is no reason whatsoever why someone from the United States Air Force, whether he is from, has any business investigating anything that's happening in a vape shop. That is not their jurisdiction. They don't care if you're vaping nicotine or if it's flavored like grape or you have the Delta 8 or the Kratom, or they're interested in airplanes and missiles and bombs. Okay. The Venn diagram of his jurisdiction and the vape shop, there's no overlap. These two circles don't overlap anywhere. And what is with these people who do the stolen valor thing? Why would you want to pretend like I'm an Air Force special agent? I don't even know what that is. You're like bragging to be something that even if I knew it was, I still wouldn't care. Oh, you're some guy who runs around and you're like in the HR department of Air Force. That's not like a real prestigious brag in my book. Air Force special agent. Ooh, oh, save some chicks for the rest of us, stud.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Florida Stories is produced by Spring Rock. Follow me on Twitter at Florida Stories J. I'm James Parker, and this is Florida Stories. Here's the deal. You suck at buying gifts. That's okay. I do too. But I figured out a secret. I'm going to pass it along to you. It's called Symmetry Jewelers. That's what women want. They don't want anything practical. They don't want tools. They don't want something useful. And not just any jewels. They don't want you to go to some national chain like a Zales or a Kay or a Jared. Symmetry Jewelers makes art. Stop buying sucky gifts. Go to symmetryjewelers.com. Use promo code JAMES for 10% off right off the top. I get a little commission too. Your girl's happy. Everybody wins. symmetryjewelers.com.